up, YouTube? It's your boy Bobby B. I'm back again with another video. Be sure you do go subscribe and hit that notification bell. Like, share, and comment on this video. I'd like to apologize. This is the disclaimer. I am feeling a little bit under the weather. My voice, I'm sure, probably sounds weird. I'm congested, got a little head cold. No COVID over here, okay? Not happening. But yeah, just trying to get over this little cold, but that's not gonna stop me from getting to work and getting more content out there. Today I come with you all with a video on a story time. This is going to be a story about how I just be in the craziest, ghettoest situations. It's like, I don't even know what I'm going to title this video. This is just several incidents that has happened to me that just are crazy, just bananas. So I'm going to be very detailed. I'm going to tell you as much as I can without disclosing any identifying information. But this is stuff that I've experienced while living in the state of Minnesota. All three of these incidents happened in Minnesota. And Minnesota is a really good place to live, but just like any other place, they have a ghetto as well. So, the ghetto. Let's see here. Oh, and they all have something to do while I was in beauty school. So, I don't understand what that is about either. So which one should I tell first? So, I'm with my best friend, and we were going to hang out at one of her close friends' place. And at the time, she had to pay her car note. And the car note that she was paying it to was a specific person. It was an individual. And the individual was trying to be all jazzy and try to buck up and be like, if you don't pay me my money when I want my money, then I'm just going to take the car back. And it really shouldn't work like that. As long as I give it to you, you never got anything in writing telling you that I had to have it on a specific date or nothing like that. So what are you going to do? Come and take the car? That threat actually followed through. They were going to come and take the vehicle. So they ended up coming to take the car, and it just threw our whole night off. We was all just kind of blue because we did not expect for this individual to be this upset and actually come and take the car. Bro, I told you I was going to give you your money. I give you your money every month. So, this is a situation where you just feeling yourself, and you I ain't going for none of that. So you're not gonna just punk me. So if that's what you need to come do that. So he came and took the car, and then after he took the car, we was just okay, cool, whatever, let's just go kick it, because I don't really know what to do now. So I convinced my friend I'm going out to drink. This is where it all went bad, because we should have just went home. Originally, that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to just go home because she was irritated, she was mad. I'm like, no, let's not ruin our whole night because people wanted to be extra and try to take the car. That was really going to do something. So let's just go out and have a good time. So we ended up going out, and in the midst of us going out, the driver, I think she had a few drinks. I don't really remember, but I know she drives. So this is the end of the night, and we're on our way home. And she's driving crazy, and she ends up hitting someone while we were in the car. She hit another car. And instead of doing what, typical people would do, stop, exchange information, she fled the scene. And I'm in the back seat. And I'm just like, all right, didn't see that coming. I thought you were just gonna stop and just explain, it was an accident, didn't mean, she didn't intentionally hit that person. But she fled. She left. And when she thought she was leaving, come to find out, the car that she hit was right behind her, tailing her. Girl, where do you think you're really going? You just hit us and you're thinking you're about to leave the scene. That's not happening. So she dipping and dodging through the lanes. She dipping and dodging through the streets. Then she finally make it to her mom's house, and the people pull up. Boom. They here. They arguing, whatever. Mind you, me and my best friend in the back seat. She's drunk, kind of passed out or whatever. And I'm blown. I had no idea that this is what our night is about to turn into. So from the beginning, we already got the car taken. Now we at the end of the night after the club or the bar or whatever, and she want to do a hit and run. So now these people mad as hell. They snapping on her, and she just trying to play dumb, trying to play innocent, like, oh, I was gonna stop, but nobody was stopping, so I just decided to keep. She just kept coming up with lie after lie after lie, and it was just becoming a lot. And it was maybe like 3 or 4 people in that car, and they ended up calling more people from in another car. So they calling the police and they calling their family. So 2 other cars pull up with people all inside. Mind you, my best friend who was driving, her family, this is her mom's house, they come outside. It's like 3 of them. So they come outside, they trying to figure out what's going on. The people yelling, they mad or whatever. And the girl trying to make up a lie, and it's just not making any sense. So the people getting more and more frustrated. My best friend, she's drunk. She don't even really know what's going on because she's drunk. She's just hearing a bunch of ruckus. So eventually, while they arguing over in the back seat, my best friend take off her wig. Like, I don't know what's happening, but I feel like I'm finna have to beat somebody up. And I'm like, no, girl, put your wig back on. You ain't gotta take your wig off. She took the wig off, and then eventually we got out the car, and everybody just arguing. And I think because my best friend was so drunk, she didn't know exactly what was happening. She just knew it was a lot of commotion. And at the end of the day, if we're gonna do this, then we need to get to it. And she was the type of person that doesn't do too much back and forth. So it's just like, I think we said what we need to say. So let's throw these hands. They were arguing, and I just remember seeing, like, it was a group of people, and it was like, there was so many people outside. I just don't really remember exactly who was where. But I just remember seeing my best friend step from behind her friend who was arguing with somebody and just clock like 3 or 4 people. Like, the whole crowd just ate it. And I'm just like, no. And from there, it was just a whole brawl. It was dudes, females. Mind you, the next day, I need to be at a very important test for cosmetology school. This is for me to graduate and test out so that I can receive my license. And for some reason, the night before, all of this chaos wanted to break out. And I was in the midst of it. The ghetto. So now I'm trying to like break up the fight. The police finally arrive. They finally take the statements. They not really trying to take nobody to jail. They just want to know what's really going on. So they tell them like, yeah, there was a car accident. The girl hit and run. So they finally get everybody separated, get everything calmed down, to give every issue out tickets or whatever. And we finally make it home. It probably had to be like 4 or 5 in the morning. I was so blue that I had to be at school probably at like 9 that morning. So I was extremely salty, extremely lost, because I didn't get no rest. I was in the hood with the ratchet, and all of that was over ignorance. It was just senseless ignorance that could have been avoided, and it just wasn't. So that happened. The ghetto. Story number 2. I was with one of my cool friends from beauty school, and she needed to go. I think she was going to visit somebody or holler at somebody or whatever. So she asked me. This is her graduation night from beauty school. So we was at the bar, and she like, hey, I need to go make a run or whatever. I need to go holler at somebody. Come roll with me. So I drank my drink, got in the car, and we went over by whoever house we was at. She gets to the house, and I don't know if she needed to like, I can't even tell you the details. That's how confused I was. But when she jumped out the car, she went up to the house, banging on the door, trying to get dude to come outside. When he finally came outside, she cussed him clean out. And he was like, what is going on? I think he felt threatened, so he went back in the house. Well, obviously, because she cussed him out. He went back in the house, and when he came back out, he had the and then she like, oh, that's what we doing? So while he was in the house, before he came back out with the gun, she went to his truck and was checking his doors to see if his doors was open, and they were. She jumped in the truck and went to searching and finding and looking. Found the stash. Found the goods. She took all of it. Put it in the car. He came out. He talking about some, is this what we really own? Trying to wave it around or whatever. She like, if that's what we doing, then that's what we doing. She got hers. She pulled it. She like, what's good? What we want to do? Because I really peel your whole cap back right now. And I'm just like, they're literally about to have a shootout. And I'm just sitting in the car like, mind you, she just stole his stash. So I'm holding the stash. And they both pointed at each other like, well, so what you want to do? He like, you need to go somewhere. She's like, all right, I'll go. But I'm going to be back. And when I come back, it's up there. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad this is over. Girl, she wasn't done. We went to the house, she changed her clothes, and we grabbed the dog. We put all the stuff away, and she grabbed the dog. We grab the dog, and we go back over there. When we go back over there, she try to go down the alley with her lights off, but she not noticing that ahead of us, with their lights off, is the police. And ain't no backing up. Ain't no going forward. Right into the police. So the police trying to figure out why is she coming down the alley with no lights on? Who is she? How do you know this individual? Come to find out, the people who house he was at, they called the police. She told the description of my friend or whatever. I don't know how it ended up happening, but they told us to get out of the car. I'm like, well, we have a dog. We can't just like leave the dog in here while y'all feel like y'all finna search the vehicle. So they put me in the back of a police squad car with the dog while they searched the vehicle. Goodness gracious. I think she said she had a knife underneath the seat, but they didn't find a knife. Good, gratefully. And then we put all the other stuff back in the house when we had stopped at the house. So I'm sitting in the back of the cop car with the dog. And mind you, police cars are so uncomfortable. There is no way that you could sit in there and be like, yeah, I'll do this. This is perfect. This is so whack. It's plastic. The seat is like this big, so there's not much of a seat to sit on. And then there's what's that called? Like a barrier between you and the officers, so that's in the way. So your knees are like right up against that, with the seat being as small. So I can barely get comfortable. The dog cannot get comfortable because there's no floor, there's no seat, there's nowhere for either of us to be there. So the dog just won't sit still. And this is a pit bull, a big pit bull, like a boy, grown man. And he just wrestling. They like, can you get the dog to sit still? I said no. Absolutely not. Because neither of us are comfortable back here. So me trying to get him to calm down, there is no calming down. That's not happening. Let us out. So then eventually they got through questioning her and searching the car or whatever, and they let us out the vehicle, and they was just like, yeah, we're going to allow you both to go their separate ways because it's a he say, she say situation. They didn't catch her doing anything, and there's nothing to arrest her for. So like they literally had to just let us go. So when they finally let us go and I'm back in the car, I'm looking at her like, take me home. This is some BS. Mind you, on our way pulling off, the girl want to start bucking up because she's mad because now the police can't do nothing about it. So now she like, oh, I'm going to whoop you. I'm going to beat you up all in front of the police. And the girl's my best friend like, girl, you doing all of this now? But when there were no cops around, I didn't feel that energy. I didn't get that from you before. So why are you trying to get big and bad all of a sudden? Honey, I was blue. I couldn't believe that they were sitting up here doing all of this extra. Take me to the house. This is the ghetto. Like, I don't even know how I got here. You told me you wanted to go swing by somebody's house, and we ended up robbing people. Getting pulled out, I'm in the back of a police car. Like, what? How did I get here? Nah. Thug life. Like, she lives that lifestyle. I do not. I don't come from no life like that. I'm not out here just holding guns in people's face telling them I'm about to peel their cat back. That's not my... When I tell you I felt like that was some Scarface set it off type stuff. Like, I was like, she really, like, he got his gun pointed and she like, well, if that's what we doing, then that's what we doing. Like, straight hood with it. I'm like, man, the most. So that's story number 2. So being in those situations and those predicaments have definitely shaped and taught me a lot. And I think too, with this being said, is like we just need to be more mindful. Like life is so short and things happen literally in split seconds. So taking taking a couple more moments and considering, you know, what the circumstances really are can change your life forever. And you gotta be safe. You just can't be out here reckless and wild and crazy. Like, ain't nobody about that life, especially in 2020. These people out here is just ain't got no sense. And now I know it's like I ain't beat for that, but I do got people who are beat for that. And I hope y'all are safe. Please stay safe. But that is my story time. Thank you all so much for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, make sure you are one of those people who can say no or turn the other cheek. Don't get me wrong, there are times and cases, scenarios where somebody do need to be touched, but you just need to take the high road. That's what Michelle Mama said. You know, when they go low, you go high. Sometimes you do just need to walk away from these fools, because you never know. Like I said, split seconds can change your entire life. Keep that in mind, especially in 2020. The way that this year has gone, definitely shown us. Split seconds can change everything. So with that being said, be sure you do go subscribe and hit that notification bell. Like, share, and comment on this video. I apologize once again for being sick and sounding weird, but you know I love you all, and thank you so much for riding this wave with your boy. I'm your boy Bobby B. I'm out.